is very dangerous. I mean, they're both nuclear-powered neighbors. They're next to each other. Pakistan doesn't have sufficient strategic space per se, so it's always fearful of what a conventional attack from India might look like, and so the situation can escalate really fast. We do have to remember, though, that there have been similar bombings during Modi's period in Kashmir, both in 2016 and in 2019. In 2019, when that happened, India, for the first time since 1971, when they last fought a full-fledged war, India, for the first time, crossed the international border and actually bombed places in Pakistan proper, not in Pakistan administered Kashmir per se only, because that is a disputed territory, but it crossed the international border, the undisputed international border, and dropped bombs in Pakistan.
Pakistan has said it had nothing to do with the attack on tourists in Kashmir. Even though several of the attackers were in fact Pakistani nationals. But should India have proved Pakistan was complicit before striking?
Yes, it should have proven, but but I think it's come to the point where India feels sort of fed up by the number of times it has been hurt by Pakistan-linked actors, if nothing else. And it's hard always to trace back and prove back and to do that in a quick and immediate fashion. And therefore, I think from India's standpoint, what they're trying to do is to project that, okay, no more, never again. And if things get back, we can be really escalating to an awful situation out here. But I mean, I don't know if that cuts this thing with Pakistan, because the whole point at Pakistan's end is to not allow for an escalation, is to ensure that if a situation escalates, it could escalate to a nuclear conflict, and therefore India should stay its hand. So it's a complicated issue, and kind of tracing back and saying, yes, this is the reason, etc., etc. But I think the Indians have gotten beyond the point where they have to show that this was the reason, etc., etc., why we're doing something, and they're going to, like the Israelis in a way, show power first and then talk later.
The United States does have closer ties to India. Vice President J.D. Vance was in the region just 2 weeks ago when the attack happened. Does that play a role in whatever response the US may have, do you think?
Well, I hope the United States will do the right thing. However, there are experts or scholars who read a little bit too much into the bad timing, because Vice President J.D. Vance was in New Delhi, and immediately afterwards, this whole thing blew up. So whether the United States and India compared notes, for example, or promised to each other strengthening their military cooperation, which may or may not have boosted the so-called confidence on the Indian side to take military actions into their own hands before coming up with any real proof about this the terrorist attack. This is yet to be proven.